And hopefully we are online, everyone.
I think
Welcome.
we are, yeah.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Friday Mechanics Chess Social. Here we are today with a very special guest. We have woman grandmaster Sabina Foisor. She kindly stepped in. Originally, we were going to have Elizabeth Shaughnessy, but something came up for her, so we looked to schedule her down the road. And we have our mechanics general manager, Dr. Judith Starry, with us also. And so we're going to get an opportunity to talk to Sabina about everything she's doing. And we're going to talk a little bit also about how chess has changed moving forward. But there's a lot about Sabina to talk about. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
Sure.
So for those of you who don't know, where are you joining us from today?
I'm joining you from Durham, North Carolina. And it's a sunny day here finally. After a lot of days of rain, it's good to have a sunny day. Outside still pretty chill here. Not used to this weather at all, I gotta say. I used to travel around this period. So
are you used to more rain, clouds, and cold, or?
Well, the thing is, this was a period, and Elshan and myself, so my fiance, who's also a grandmaster, for those of you who don't know, who are watching, we would usually be in San Luis, maybe playing the U.S. Championship, or maybe staying a little bit longer to continue working for the club. Oftentimes we would continue be grandmasters, acting the grandmasters in residence around this period, or maybe participate in some tournaments, getting ready for the summer tournaments to play in. And so we are fine. We are fine with the weather. Just didn't expect. I've seen so many things during this period that I would normally not see. Like I had. In front of the place that we're living, there we had iris, the plant, the iris flower, and I had no idea that we actually had that plant. I had never seen it before. We've been living here for about 2.5 years, so that was nice to see. So I didn't know how the weather was during this time, but it looks like it gets very hot, kind of summery hot, and then we have a few days very cold and rainy. So it's definitely not something I was familiar with, because I wouldn't be here around this time of year. So, yeah.
Well, spring is the most beautiful weather in North Carolina. I lived there for many years, or for a few years, and it's cherished that, because then it comes the humidity over the summer, which is, I don't know, there's something that I'm not.
And actually, I visited North Carolina briefly on a route to a trip to Washington, and it was just humid, I've never experienced.
Over the summer. So. But I'm very jealous. North Carolina is an amazing place, and you guys are probably around 2.5 hours away from Charlotte Center, right?
Yes, we are. We went there a few times. I haven't seen their new location. I know they opened a new location. Yes. I haven't seen that, but we were planning to go play a tournament, but I'm not sure if it will take place at this point. A lot of tournaments have been canceled.
Yeah, I know. They are set to organize the G30, G60, and G10 national championships, and I know they haven't canceled it yet, but anyway, we're jumping into the details of chess.
Sure.
But let's go back. I think one of the highlights of your career, especially from an American player perspective, is winning the U.S. Women's Championship. Can you tell us a little bit about that tournament?
Yes, it was certainly, it is certainly the highlight of my career so far. We don't know how many more things are to come. Certainly, I hope certainly that there will be some more, but this has been always a dream of mine ever since I decided to switch federations to represent the United States in the end of 2008, after I came to study here. I've been dreaming of winning the U.S. Championship, and coming from a chess family with both my parents being international masters and Romanian champions, it was kind of something that I've always wanted. I think I never actually did participate in a Romanian championship, national women's national championship. I did in youth category, but not in the main one. So being in the United States, I always dreamed of winning it. And of course, like I said, coming from a chess family, it's been a dream, kind of collective dream of the family for me to place on top. And it never really happened. I was preparing, oftentimes, maybe some years not as much, but something seemed to always be lacking. But that year, 2017, when I won, it was very emotional for me because um, actually it was very soon after I had met you,
Yes.
Judith, in
So
the
we met
tournament.
in 2017 January, right?
Yes,
You guys
yes.
came
So
to visit and we played in the New Year's tournament, and that was a
yes,
very fun tournament. I always cherish those memories.
it was a great, and we met, and I had a great time. And then I was planning to stay. You had a second tournament, I think, starting soon after that, or maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure who was organizing. Maybe it was still you organizing it, but I know there was another tournament, and I had to start school. At that time, I was pursuing a second master's degree in Texas Tech University in sociology, and I had to go back to get ready for the semester. So Elshan was the only one staying. But soon after, I went back home in Texas, which was our residence at that point. I heard that my mom was not feeling very well, and they had found out that the doctors had found out she was sick. She had cancer, and it was already apparently in the final stage. They haven't been very good in explaining what was going on. But a couple of family friends did tell me that mom wasn't feeling very well. She wasn't describing to me what was happening. And so I actually rushed. I bought the ticket immediately to go home. And Elshan was still in San Francisco playing in that second tournament. It was around mid-January. So I rushed home, and then by the time I got there, my sister had gotten there too, but mom had gotten into a coma. And it was certainly a very difficult time for my family and myself, and the doctors weren't really willing to do anything. I talked to a few friends who were working who were doctors and neurosurgeons and stuff, and just asking them, is there any ways to wake her up and stuff, and they told me that there was a way, but if it was really bad, if the cancer had gotten to be very bad, they told me that unfortunately, even if she would wake up, she probably would pass away very soon after that. So, but anyways, it was a very, very stressful time. I can tell her. I don't want to go into more details about
I can only imagine
how was happening in Romania. Yeah, with everything that was happening with the doctors, I didn't feel very happy about the way we were treated as a family. And the way they approached my mom's case, but we didn't want to pursue it further because we thought, in her memory, we shouldn't try to, we didn't know that we could do anything. We didn't want to go into lawsuits or anything about what has gotten on. But the truth was that she did in fact have cancer, and it was skin cancer, so she didn't have any feeling, didn't know anything about it, and seemed to have, gotten very fast to the point that none of us really realized what was going on. And so it was so fast that around that time, the Women's World Championship was supposed to take place in Iran, and she had qualified. And before she knew what was going on with her health, she had signed a contract.
Yeah.
And I had just gotten the chance to tell her that because there was difficult situation with some female players choosing out of belief for women rights that they shouldn't go to participate, and they have boycotted the event. I did get to be one in line from the US to actually go qualify. So I had gotten the chance to tell my mom, and maybe we wouldn't have gone, but given that what happened, I thought it was important for me and for her memory to go there. So my fiance has helped very much with my preparation. We have also worked with a grandmaster who's helped get me in shape and kind of keep me focused on chess and try not to think so much about the loss of my mom.
And I think that picture is from there, right? That one with the red uniform, right? The team picture, the World Women's Team Championship, right? That you were mentioning in Iran, right?
I don't know if there is one of that. I didn't see. I was looking at the pictures.
Anyway,
I didn't see.
Yeah.
Maybe you did.
So who were your teammates there?
No, I didn't. I don't think there's anyone from there in the pictures. But maybe there is. I'll take specific look right now and I'll let you know if there is one.
So you went to Iran?
Yeah, so I went to Iran and I was paired against Tan Zhongyi, who eventually that year did win the women's World Championship. So you can imagine I did lose to her. It was a knockout tournament, right? So if she became Women's World Champion, then definitely she should have beaten me. But I had a really, I was really motivated. It meant a lot to me that the FIDE had kept my mom's name on the list. They didn't replace her, although we did let them know that she passed away. They didn't replace her, and they had her picture there, and they honored her. They gave me this knight. It was a sculpture of a knight, black knight, a horse actually. It was a horse because in Romanian culture, horse and knight is the same word for both.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And it means a lot. White knights. My mom was very believed in a lot of believed that white knights are bringing luck. Kind of like in Irish culture, there are a lot of things, that bring luck. So she believed in that, and it was very important to her. So the Iranian Federation talked to my fiance and asked what could we do, and then they heard about the night. So at the opening ceremony, we had the moment of silence, and we had the moment of silence before the round. It meant just so much to me, and it was very important for me to be there. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go with my fiance because at that time there was a Trump ban, not allowing Iranian citizens going back and forth. And he wasn't a U.S. citizen at that point, so he wasn't able to join me during that difficult time. He was stuck in the United States, and although he did get a visa, he was worried, and I was worried that he couldn't return to the U.S. And we decided that I should go by myself. So I also went with a coach that I had worked with, like I said. And although I lost the match 1.5-1.5, I think I played some very good chess. I was able to kind of focus my mind on chess and just try to do something to make my mom proud. It was, like I said, a difficult time, but I wanted to make sure I could do something to make her proud. And I just felt her spirit with me in a way. And after that, I went back to Romania for a little bit of time, make sure my dad and grandma were fine. My sister by that time had returned to her studies. She's currently pursuing a PhD in chemistry and biology in England, and she had to return. But I made sure that as much as possible, my dad and my grandma were still alive, and we made sure they're fine. And then I returned to the US, finally seeing Elshan after about 2.5 months, and maybe about 2 months, and getting the last training preparation for US Championship. It was, again, a very difficult time, but I had to try to find a way to to make my mom proud. And although I did start the tournament pretty badly with 2 out of 4, I think I was able to pull myself together and just show my just show the hard work that I've put all those months. And just having this difficult time, I think, has helped me just be able to stay focused on my goal, which was to try to play good games to make my mom proud. And I guess I was able to do that
it was. I still remember the tournament and how you turned around and just swept, and then finally the final victory. It was really emotional. I think for all chess players around the U.S., everyone was really rooting for you, and it was a perfect way to honor your mom. And then also for the girls, like, I think it's a very important message what you said, that you started off bad, and a lot of people, if they lose, they quit, right? Oh yeah, it's not my tournament, right? And they withdraw. And it's something as visible and as high profile tournament as yours. Obviously you can truly just quit in a US closed championship, because but it's a very good example for the kids, for the girls, to never give up, and you can always have the willpower to turn around.
That had been my motto, and that was something that after the event I was invited to go to the Super Nationals, and a lot of girls came to me and asked for an autograph, and I learned from other strong players not to just sign something when a kid would come to you and tell you just sign something for them to have your signature. I felt that it would be good for me to try to give them an encouragement statement, and I would often write, never give up, and just something small, or a quote that I had heard around that time, and stayed with me from it, that it's choice, not chance, that determines your destiny, which I believe it was Aristotle who said it. So I felt that if I do write them some encouragement statement, hopefully they would, later at some point be able to use it somehow in their lives. It didn't have to be in chess or something. And many of them probably didn't know my story, didn't know, what had happened to me. Maybe they didn't even know how I won the US Championship, or if I won the US Championship. They just saw me there as one of the invited players to be a motivational or encouraging.
This is one
person.
of the signature photos, like you're signing at Super National, I think, the previous
Yes, there was one, yeah. So I just, I felt that it would be, to me, it was important that I shared something, and I left the kid with something else. And I did receive, actually, months later, or maybe a year even later, after the Super Nationals, messages from some of the kids. Sometimes I wasn't even sure, should I answer? Is this okay? Because I'm always so scared with kids' conversations. I don't know, like, I don't want to say something that sounds strange. But I would receive these messages telling me that, your quote was so inspiring to me. It meant a lot. It made me work harder and try to reach my goal. And it just meant a lot that I was able to do that. You never know when you might be able to affect someone's life. And I'm not saying change it, because that to change someone's life, it takes a lot of time and something very powerful. But if you're able to just guide them on the right path to whatever it is, seemed something, and still is something important for me to do. So.
Well, one of the things we know from working with a lot of scholastic programs and kids is that years later, the kids remember the impact you made on them with chess, because they even learn some of the lessons that they apply to other things they do in other activities and things of that nature. Judith had sent me a video of one of our former students in one of our classes was like singing a song amid the COVID-19 lockdown. Mm-hmm. And it kind of went viral, and it's like, look, this is someone that we had in our classes, and she experienced us, in a positive way through chess, and now she's, blossoming and doing, other things. And I think the kids remember that. And so it's nice to be in a field where you can actually have an effect on children in that way.
Yeah, we can only try and hope for the best, right?
Yeah.
So
You don't know.
One of the organizations that I know you support is up in DC, Girls Chess DC, I think.
Yes.
And so DC is about 4 hours away from North Carolina, and I know Robin is the person who's organizing that nonprofit organization or leading that nonprofit organization. Tell us about that event that you visited.
Yeah, I did that event. A little bit after winning the championship. I thought it would be a good way to help to help her out. She has a wonderful organization that helps not only girls. Actually, I know it's called Just Girls DC, but I've seen her do work in areas in DC that are not are from lower income families, and she's trying to always be supportive of what of the girls or the kids that she's supporting. So it seemed something nice to do. And she had contacted me before, but it was after I had left Maryland. I used to be there, and I think at the time that I was in Maryland as a student, Chess Girls DC organization did not exist.
Yes, it was fairly
yeah, so when I was in Texas, I had received 1 or 2 messages from her, but since I had already left, it would have been very hard for me to travel there from Texas and help out. So I did offer to go, and I did a simul, and there was supposed to be like a fundraiser, more of it. So we asked people to pay an entry fee, but all the money was going to the organization. That was something that I did. And then I also spent the next day making sure that the girls who came for the All Girls, I think it was All Girls East Championship, something with the All Girls from 4 or 5 different states on the East Coast. I made sure that they got their games analyzed. I talked to them a little bit. I talked to the parents, tried to be supportive. So that was one of the things that I did. And then another time we did meet for a chess camp. Unfortunately, we had this big vision, both of us, but unfortunately it didn't really turn out. The numbers didn't turn out to be as big as we were hoping for an all-girls camp, because we didn't see that being organized. In the United States, we felt that there was the need to have something like that. Later, there were a few that were organized, but I think that was maybe one of the first. But unfortunately, the numbers weren't that high, so it was a little bit tough to get enough girls inspired to come. But it's certainly a wonderful organization that supports chess and girls, and Robin is very much involved with women's committee, and always is
she's
showing
also
up
part of the clubs committee that Abel and I are
okay.
part. So yeah, she's very active.
She's a lot. Yeah, she's amazing.
I was really happy to see you support her organization, and it's very, very nice of you to go around and in the US support a few organizations. So.
I try when I can. I try to do it, but this is something also that it's sometimes tough for top players to do, because chess is not like other sports where when you're a top player you have so much financial stability. So sometimes it's tough to just to always just give. You have to try to find a balance to be able to make a living, but in the same time be able to give back to the community, to causes that mean a lot to you. So I try my best when I can to support organizations and
own event that looks to raise money for organizations or for causes. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So, well, with COVID having started and been pretty much in the entire world, we thought it was important for us to try to do something to help others. And we have a few goals in mind and a few fundraisers we want to do, but it's always very hard to set them up. Also, a lot of people do not know that we started streaming. It's not an easy way to make it up in the in the streaming community. I think it takes time to build your community to show people how passionate you are about teaching.
Yeah, but I would agree with that.
Yeah, and I think that was also like that's important to support each other. So like I remember one of our end of our streaming, we rated your channel exactly for this reason, so that people from the West Coast can expose to the even though it's virtual, I mean they may not know about your stream and vice versa. So I think it's very good that to build collaborations. So yeah, streaming. Sorry.
I think it's important. I definitely think it's important. Yes. And
so how often do you stream, or do you stream together with Elshan?
No, we stream separately. We have different ways of teaching, different ways of approaching things. So I think it's good that we do it separately. We still help each other. I've helped him as much as I could with building up the stream. It takes a lot of time to learn everything, so I'm still learning myself. I've gotten a little bit of help from some friends who are streamers, and I try to kind of use that learning for both of us. Elshan is helping me in other ways, and I try to help him with the streams too. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing too much, but I think it's just normal in our relationship. Sometimes you cannot really meet in the middle and do exactly the same, although I think females do expect a little bit more, but maybe it's just me.
But as long as he helps around the house.
I think you're pretty right.
And as long as he helps around the house, it's good, right?
Yeah. He helps me with some of my teaching or materials sometimes, so it kind of it ends up balancing well. But we've created separate Twitch channels, so each of us is streaming. We try to stream on different days. We also have only had one microphone. Finally, we got the second one that have to work on setting up. So we don't wanna get too much invested in it yet, because we don't know if people would like what we're doing, because mostly we've just been playing and teaching our private students one-on-one. But this is something that we both become passionate about, and we're doing it. He's actually streaming right now. I think he's playing some Blitz games. So we tried to do it separately. But when he did the fundraiser, that was last Friday. We worked with this organization that's called Child Foundation, and they raise money for not just for kids, although it's called Child Foundation. But this period, because of COVID, they have raised a lot of money to help doctors and nurses in the Middle East, and also they have Indonesia and some other countries in Asia that they are sending masks and the proper equipment needed for doctors and nurses. That was something important for Elshan. And especially because he's originally from Iran, and that was the country with one of the biggest numbers of deaths in the the medical field.
Yeah.
And so he contacted the organization, and we started. We didn't know how to to have this fundraiser set up, but we finally did it through Facebook. We put the link, and it was pretty successful. I think different people have donated. He reached close to $4,000, and I think for someone who had just started, it just meant a lot that a lot of people came together to support him and the cause. So we kind of did it together a little bit. I forced him to play some blindfold games as well, because I thought that would be something people would like to see. We really want to do one for USCF, for UCF has this program that's called Child at Risk or Children at Risk, who are kids from lower income families who are having trouble even paying the membership to be a member to play in tournaments. And we wanted to do one, and we have kind of suggested the idea a few times in our streams, but I think we have to work on a website link or something, because I think it's hard for people to understand exactly what you're doing when they don't see something specifically written where the money is going. So we're working on doing that. Really, it means a lot it meant a lot to us to have a family who was able to support us to do what we wanted to do. And we know there are a lot of kids who love the game, but unfortunately aren't able to be supported. And so
and their parents are not international masters, right? That helps.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, we will try to find a way to make that happen, and maybe others too. Actually, for our private students, we started organizing these tournaments online. I have heard you guys talking about how the Mechanics Institute is also, has put together tournaments for your members, and maybe letting other people from different communities to join. We kind of started with our students, and we thought what would be a good way to try to help out the community as well. So far, I think we've been doing it for about 4 weeks now. Every week. There's an entry fee that we require them to pay to take part in the tournament. And 75% of that money, we give it back in prizes. And then the 25% we donate to a different cause. And it meant so much to see that every week, actually, in the beginning, everyone was saying, we want prizes. Why don't you put prizes? We were like, well, then let's put an entry fee. And now, a lot of them, it means so much to me that a lot of the people are saying that once they finish and talk, they write us a private message and they say, you know what? I don't want my prize. Please donate it to the cause that you have chosen for that week. And it means so much to me.
And this is, I really admire you and all the other chess celebrities, right? Because you guys are using your pool, your social chess, putting together the chess community, pulling together, and then they will follow you guys' lead. So it's really amazing. But I didn't know about your tournaments. That's news for me. We should.
We didn't share this before. We did sometimes when we stream. We do show some of the games. We make sure everyone is anonymous so that
we should do a team match with your students and our students.
Yeah,
and then
that would be fun.
Sure,
Let
us know. We'll talk about it.
And you also had a few episodes of YouTube videos where you taught beginners, right?
Yes.
I really enjoyed. I watched at least one, maybe two about that. So I think that's also a very good initiative. I know it's hard to keep up because of time commitment. It's a lot of time, and I mean, as you said, you have to earn some living, earn some money to cover your bills as well. But that's something that I'm sure others would love to see if you can start again.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we try. We both, Elshan and I, we know this is a difficult time for a lot of people, and we can feel it ourselves. That some of our students couldn't continue taking lessons. So we kind of feel what is happening with everyone, and it's also very tough for kids, especially during this time, because they're used to losing their energy, and sometimes, especially during this time, is very hard, and probably an extra thing for parents to be worried about. Like, you want to provide as much as you can for your kids, but in the same time you have to work, and you're all at home, and maybe you're spending more time together, but still the kids need something to do. So we're trying to find the best way we can to still keep them engaged for at least a small part of the week with chess. And so we do that online, and I try to do it with the videos. Unfortunately, it's very tough to
Yeah.
keep up with
Yeah.
with the videos, but I try my best so that people have everyone can have the ability to learn more when they have the time. And
so we're talking about COVID-19. Like, how do you see chess evolving over the next year or two? Just because what's going to happen at a over-the-board tournament will probably be a lot different than we've experienced before. What do you see kind of happening? If you can see into the future of how live tournaments will change or how online tournaments will become bigger. What do you think about that?
It's certainly very tough to think about. I'm trying to discuss with other friends who are chess players and ask their opinions of how much longer this will take or what will be the stages to improve. But it seems like until we have the vaccine, I think it will be very difficult to have tournaments organized over the board. A lot of people will probably want to play if someone does choose to organize once the phases of reopening are happening. I know some states have chosen to reopen, but I think it will be very difficult because a lot of other people will be very scared if they haven't actually had the disease, if they haven't contracted the virus yet. I think, for me personally, I'm very scared to get out of the home. Elshan has wanted to go a little bit, maybe drive a little bit, maybe go to a store, pick up food, but I don't even want to do that. I'm just telling you my experience.
Sure. Yeah.
I have been very scared. So we had gone to pick up a lot of food before everything started. We actually self-isolated before the lockdowns have been decided by the So we had started about a week or two before. As I was keeping in touch with my family in Europe. I have cousins in Italy, and I have understood how the situation is there, and it just scared me so much that I thought I want to try to stay as much away as possible. I know not everyone can, but we've tried to find some local farms to order our food and just mostly stay inside. So for me, if there's no big tournament that I really want to play in, which is just the US Championship, if the US Championship will be rescheduled, we will make it work. We will go, especially because this year both Elshan and myself have qualified, and it would mean a lot to be able to play together.
And even that tournament with the so few players, you can physical distance, somewhat better than a bigger event.
Yeah,
yes, that is true. That is true.
Is the issue, right?
But in the same time, think about it. You have to stay in a hotel where there are thousands of other people going in and out. You have to find a way to get your food. It's a hotel, so you need to probably eat out a lot. It's air conditioning, and
you have to get there.
I understand it can
there,
go through.
Right?
Sorry.
And you have to fly there, right?
You have to fly there. Okay, I understand the flying is not they're taking a lot of precautions. The airline with which we usually fly.
I see that's the most critical thing, flying, because until flying is not safe or not safer, and there's a lot of exposure at airplanes and airports. Much
That's
more
true,
so because
sure.
with hotels and
But even being there, being in a location you don't know, right? It's completely new. How do you know that everything is? Just for me, I think I got a little bit. I'm at the very bad extreme that I'm kind of scared because I do have something I was born with, and I only found out recently kind of a genetics disorder, and I don't know if that could affect me. I know I'm young, but I would rather not risk it.
Yeah.
I did
be
keep
safe,
in touch
everyone,
a little bit
and safe, and just take the precautions. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I would be scared, but I will do it. That would be a tournament that I would go back to.
That's the exception.
That's the exception. But other tournaments, I'm really scared. Elshan has, like I said, suggested to even go out here, and I don't want to even go to a store. Poor guy. I kind of use my authority, so to say, because I'm the only one driving currently. So I say, nope, we're not driving. Sorry, we're
yeah, I don't think the authority's in quotes. I think it's it's an actual.
No, we are partners in everything. We are good at managing things together, and I'm blessed to have found him. I think we make a good team. We're a good team together. But regarding that, I know he's a little bit more agreeing of trying to go out, but I'm more scared of the situation. So I'd rather just make sure it's safe before we choose. So personally, I don't think we will play much unless the situation is calming down. And so I think it's going to be a struggle. And playing online is also a struggle for a lot of people. A lot of people have this tendency of cheating. I don't know why. It's a little bit sad for me to see.
Yeah, for us too.
Even grandmasters have been caught.
Yeah.
It seems like, at least that was the message that I received from chess.com. So I'm assuming they're not lying about it.
Yeah. For everyone's reference, chess.com did issue a video yesterday where Danny Wrench explained what chess.com is doing against cheating, or how they're catching cheaters. And so I suggest everyone just go to their YouTube channel and watch that video, and just don't cheat. It's not worth it.
Yes, don't cheat. That's yes.
And
we don't want anyone to cheat.
Yeah, and you're gonna get caught, so it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And as organizers, we could say there are members that have played in our community that have been caught and have admitted to it. So we know it happens, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and in the video, chess.com does explain how, if you admit it, you do get a second chance, and we are all for second chances, not third chances. Third chances never. So
Yeah, I totally agree. I think sometimes you can do it, but it's just very hard. Sometimes you just do it unwillingly. I have seen some people actually doing it by mistake. They didn't understand that was a cheating. So like you're saying, second chances, once it's explained, it's important not to do. But there's a lot of pressure as well, I think, especially for kids. So kids definitely need to understand that trying to use an engine while playing or asking someone's help is definitely not okay. And they need to make sure they understand that, and they don't do it. But of course, we as top players, we have to make sure we set the bar high too, and we don't do it either, because if they see someone doing it, they think it's okay.
Yeah.
So, but it's very hard. It's very hard. There's so many people playing online. I think sometimes these sites, there are different sites that you can play on and utilize for teaching or for playing, and they're overcrowded. I think they never dealt with so many people being live for so long. So definitely there's a lot of stuff they can do to improve, and it's going to be very tough for a lot of chess players for sure, because a lot of players make their living by playing. They are really strong, and they will not have those opportunities to play to get the visibility that maybe they sometimes need, to get the sponsorship that maybe they had. So it's a tough period for everyone. I cannot tell you from where we are right now. I think some of the states are a little bit rushing the reopening. I understand the other side too, the need of needing to feed your family, but it's certainly a very difficult situation that we haven't encountered for 100 years.
And I think it's only time will tell which course of action is the appropriate one, and definitely everyone has to make their own decisions. So
that's true. But I know